guys, welcome back to my channel, the #1 place for VAs, social media managers, and designers who are really looking to build that standout brand online and live the laptop lifestyle. Well, in today's video, I am going to share with you some game-changing ways that you can actually go ahead and repurpose your own content just so that you don't burn yourself out, you save a load of time, and you ultimately increase your own visibility. So let's go ahead and dive in. Repurposing your own content, the whole point of it is to work smarter, not harder. You don't want to be coming up with brand new content ideas for every single platform. Otherwise, you're going to burn yourself out really fast. And those top entrepreneurs and creators that you ultimately look up to, I can promise you that they all actually repurpose their own content so that their content has a way longer shelf life, reaches a lot more of their audience members, and they ultimately save a lot of time. Essentially, repurposing is just taking a piece of content and just breaking it down even further or recycling it into other content pieces on various platforms. So when it comes to repurposing your own content, the very first tip that I have for you is to actually go ahead and pick one long form piece of content or platform and at least one short form platform to focus on. Now, what I mean by a longer form content is just more in-depth content like this YouTube video here, an IGTV, a blog post, a podcast episode, etc. So when you go ahead and you actually pick your long form piece of content to add to your own marketing strategy, you really do want to be thinking, okay, where does my dream customer actually hang out on and what am I actually good at? So for instance, if you're really great on camera, maybe YouTube or an IGTV is really great for you. Or if you love writing, you can go ahead and write blog posts. Or if you love talking, you can do a podcast, you get the gist. So now that you've actually chosen your long form platform, you can actually go ahead and pick a shorter form platform or content piece to go ahead and focus on, because essentially what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to have that long form platform such as a video, a podcast, a blog, whatever it might be, and then you're going to repurpose all of your content to that shorter form platform. So that could be different types of Instagram posts, Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Now, tip number 2 is to go ahead and actually transcribe your content. So basically what you want to do is just get the written version of that content. So if you have a YouTube channel or a podcast, for instance, you can actually use a transcribing service such as Rev.com, Veed, and there's a ton of other ones out there that you can research, but you basically want this transcription file as it's going to allow you to repurpose your content that much easier. For example, in my own business, I actually transcribe every single piece of content from YouTube so that I'm actually able to stretch that content out even further. So for instance, I actually took this YouTube video right here where I talked all about gaining Instagram followers organically, and then from there I actually made an Instagram reel out of it. I promoted it on my own Instagram stories, I made a carousel post, and I even pinned it on Pinterest. And then later I actually made an email newsletter out of it just so I could actually tell you guys that I had a new episode out that week. So for just one long form piece of content, I was actually able to create 5 content pieces out of it. And from there, I can even keep repurposing that one video even further, such as making it into a blog post in the future. I can make an IGTV. I could highlight a specific quote and make an Instagram post. I can make a different type of Instagram reel out of it, a Facebook post, like the list is endless. So as you can see, I'm not always having to come up with these brand new ideas, but instead I can actually take what I already have and already spent a good chunk of time on and actually recycle and distribute that content out even further. Now, tip number 3 is to actually go ahead and cater your content for each platform. Now, I do not mean come up with completely new ideas for each and every platform. We just talked about that, but really be aware that each individual platform is different for a reason. So just because your long form video is suitable on YouTube, let's say, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be great to repurpose on LinkedIn. For instance, LinkedIn is a lot more catered towards business professionals and really just like pushing more of that business and workspace conversation. So you do want to make sure that whatever content piece that you actually have, it is appropriate and relevant to that specific platform type. So what I mean by this is don't just copy and paste content from one platform to the next. you really do want to cater your content for that specific platform. So maybe that even means just highlighting key points from a video you created or a podcast episode you produced and actually making that into its own unique Facebook post or even quote on Instagram. So a really great example of this, and somebody who does this really well, is Jenna Kutcher. So as you can see right here, she actually had a guest podcast episode with Marie Forleo, and she actually highlighted a quote from her podcast episode and just turned it into another piece of content on Instagram. Now, a big mistake that I see a lot of people making is that they actually just take their Instagram post with all of the different hashtags included, and they literally just copy and paste it into Facebook. And while you can definitely repurpose your content from Instagram into Facebook, you do want to make sure that you aren't just copying and pasting the at mentions or that whole group of hashtags from Instagram, as it's just not how the Facebook algorithm works, and people who actually do come across that post probably aren't going to be as inclined to go ahead and engage with it, since it obviously wasn't catered towards that specific platform. So just be mindful of that and really make sure that whenever you do go ahead and repurpose your content, you are kind of tweaking it a tad and making sure that it is aligned for each and every platform type. So I really hope that this video helped you in terms of repurposing your content, saving time, and not actually burning yourself out. Let me know down below if it did, and if you do have any other ways that you actually repurpose your own content, I would love to know down below. But anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. Make today count, and I'll see you in the next video.